Hello, it's Tom from Black Toe Studio and welcome back to Game 3 of the Blood Siege of Galerias 4. And today we have a force of Black Templars taking the front for the Imperial side. So let's dive in and have a look at what is in this force. So this is a battalion on the face of it here, and it is 1,500 points worth. We have two HQ choices here. So we have a captain with a thunderhammer, grav pistol and a jump pack, and he is joined by a chaplain who has been upgraded to a master of sanctity, who has Far's devotion and divine protection as his litany choices. He has also been given the benediction of fury crosium, so a bit of extra punch in his combat. Moving on to the troop section, which is probably the heaviest section of this force, we have two Crusader squads at the front here. So we have Crusader squad number 1 and 2 here. They are both 10-man strong. The sergeant in this one has a power axe and bolt pistol. There is also a melter gun upgrade. And on the right here is pretty much the same, except the sword brother has a power sword instead of a power axe. So there's a melter in there as well. And they are joined by their Primaris brothers here in two squads of 10 assault intercessors, all with obviously their chainswords and bolt pistols. No upgrades on the sergeant, so he is exactly the same. And then finally on the back line here, giving the fire support, which is probably going to be needed today, we have two standard vindicators and a vindicator laser destroyer. Looking forward to using that after its updates in the Imperial Armour Compendium. So, Warlord traits, we have Frontline Commander, which gives anything within 6 inches +1 to advance and charge. And I think that's just about everything really. So, that is 1,500 points of Black Templars. Let's go and see what the World Eaters have got. And on the Chaos side, the World Eaters have bought the following list. And as you can see here, Kharn has entered the fray. So he is obviously a paid for model, so he just comes with everything that he normally has. We also have joining him as a second HQ slot the Warp Smith here, and he's been given a Berserker Glaive upgrade. So that replaces kind of an axe. So I think that's a good enough axe to sort of vouch for that one, so that should be good. Then we go into the troop choices. We have 3 troop choices here. We have 3 Berserker squads, 8 strong each. Looking to obviously capitalise on their success in the last couple of games and continue the bloody path of destruction they have wrought so far in the games. We have a Hellbrute here, which is actually, this model here is one of the old Forge Roll ones. Looks really cool, but it is a Hellbrute, not a Dreadnought obviously. And then as we move on to the back line here, we have a squad of Chaos Bikers. The sergeant there has a power fist, and the rest are armed with various weaponries of either not power swords, chain swords or axes, and there's also a melter gun and a plasma gun in there. And then we have 3 nasty little defilers. These all actually have names that Dom has given them, which I'm sure Vicky will bring up while we're playing. So this could be quite a painful little matchup. So that is the armies, and obviously this is 1,500 points as well. We'll be right back with the mission and deployment. Welcome back to Game 3 of the Blood Siege of Galerias 4. Previously we saw the World Eaters overrun the Shrine of Teleria, and the Black Templars lost their Emperor's Champion. Hopefully another one will be found in the Crusade soon. However, not in this battle, as we saw from the armies previously shown. However, now the World Eaters have to set their targets on a much bigger prize, which is the Hive of Galerias 4, the main city, the prime city, which is full of civilians going into shelter there to get away from the battles raging outside. However, this is where Kharn has been hiding, causing havoc as he advances towards the city. As you can see, he is just down here at the moment with some of his berserkers charging forward. However, as they were getting closer, one of the still kind of competent commanders in their space fleet above has realised that some of their supplies of their leading troops are running a bit low. However, he has been unable to reach any of the commands on the ground because apparently most of them are in some form of blood frenzy as they get more riled up with the fight. So what he has decided to do was to essentially drop supplies in front of the advancing World Eater army as the only way you could think of giving them supplies and also giving them a hint to pick it up. So what is happening in this matchup is we are playing a game called Supplies from Above, which is actually a Crusade mission from the main book if you are interested. And it is a fairly simple premise from the point of view of the mission rules. So we have 6 objectives on the board. Each of the markers is representing a supply drop of some description, whether it be ammo or maybe some more teeth for chain axes, because berserkers tend to go through them fairly quickly. And each one is kind of worth 10 points. So, well, I say each one, you can only score a maximum of 30 per round. But the first one you hold is worth 10. If you hold 2, it's worth another 10. If you hold more than the enemy, it is worth another 10. So you can score 30 per round. Very much like the normal kind of match play mission, main mission. However, there's a slight twist to the way the objectives behave on this one, and that is at the end of the beginning of each battle round, we roll 2 dice in the centre of the table, and we draw a line from the lowest numbered dice to the highest, and that is the direction that every single objective on the board will move d3 plus 3 inches. Thus, the objectives could end up all over the place. So where they are right now is not going to be where they're going to be at the end of the game. And so, obviously, the World Eaters are wanting to get these supplies. It's quite key for them to pick them up if they can realise they're there, while the Templars are going to try and take them for themselves and deny them from the enemy. So, at the moment, the hordes are advancing. Let's see who's going to be getting the first turn. So let's roll off down here. And we've got a 5 for the Force of Templars and a 4 for the World Eaters. So we'll be right back in a minute with turn 1, Black Templars. Okay, at the end of Templars' turn 1 movement, down here this Vindicator has moved up to get itself in range, possibly going to have a pop at this Defiler. Same with this Vindicator as well. Both squads of the Crusader and the Assault squad here have both advanced. They didn't get very good advance rolls, but they've managed to move up this one onto the objective. This one making a move towards possibly maybe this objective here. Over here, this Assault Intercessor squad managed to get a very large run, so they've managed to get on top of this objective and secure that bit of that supply cache, and essentially the chaplain has followed them. He also did put Fire's Devotion and Divine Protection on them, so they currently have 1 extra attack and also 5+ ignore wounds. This Crusader squad's obviously moved up as well. It didn't advance, and the Demos Vindicator Destroyer here has stayed still because it can see its target and it's in range. So we'll have to see if he can deal with that Defiler, although they're notoriously hard to get rid of. So that is the end of movement. Let's move on to shooting. Starting off the shooting with this Vindicator, firing all the way over at the Defiler hiding over there by the tree. Okay, first up, number of shots for the Demolisher Cannon. Here we go, D6 shots. 3, respectable. So we're needing 3s to hit here. There's nothing in range to help with the reroll. So 2 hits, and it'll be a 3 to wound because it's strength 10. 2 wounds at -3, but you have an invulnerable of 5 up, so you need 2 5-up invulnerable saves. 1, so you're taking D6 damage off that one, which is 2. Okay, and then next up we have this Vindicator shooting at the same Defiler. Number of shots is 3 again. Okay, fair enough, we'll take the 3. And we are looking for 3s again. 1. And 3s again. No, so no, nothing done with that one. Next up is this Vindicator, firing at the Defiler, as you can see in the background there. Okay, so we're going to go with the Vindicator Destroyer here. Hitting on 3s, it's got 3 shots. We haven't moved, so the new rules state that you can actually move and fire the heavy profile, except this time, if you do move, you tend to take mortal wounds. So, let's see if we can hit here. First hitting on 3s. 3 hits, it's strength 10, so we're going to need 3s again. 2, I'm going to command point that 2. So I'm going to be down to 11 command points. That's 3 wounds, it's -5, but you've got your 5 vulnerable. Any of these failed is 6 damage. Oh!
I'm going to command point.
You're going to command point the 1, okay.
See if it helps.
No, so 6 damage is done to that Defiler. So that concludes the shooting, because I only had the Vindicators to shoot really. So we had this Defiler get knocked down to 12 wounds, and this Defiler on the back here knocked down to 8 wounds. So not too bad. We'll be right back in a minute with World Eaters, turn 1. So World Eaters, turn 1, end of movement. We've had this Defiler regain a wound as per its special rules and move up 8 inches towards the enemy lines. This Defiler and Berserker Squad have stayed still because the Berserker Squad is in range of this objective here, so they've just elected to stay still. Hopefully it doesn't move in the opposite direction. We had this Defiler move forward along with the Warpsmith next to it. It regained its 1 normal wound and then the Warpsmith gave it back 2 wounds, so it gained back 3, putting it back on 11. Kharn has elected to follow his warriors into combat today, so he's just following up the Berserkers here. This squad actually advanced up to this objective, and this squad moved up with an advance as well, so both advanced. And then over here on the right, the bike squad has broken cover from underneath the landing pad and is heading towards the squad of assault intercessors over here, with the chaplain backing them up. So that is the end of movement. Let's roll on to shooting. So kicking off the shooting phase here with this Defiler, firing all of its available weaponry that it can reach into that Vindicator. Starting off with D6 shots for the battle cannon. And we've got a healthy 3, so 3 shots, and you're going to be hitting on, I think, was it 3s or 4s for a Defiler?
Pardon me, maybe it's just on before. 4s.
4s, yes, sir, okay. So 2 hits, it's toughness 8, and you are strength 8, I believe. So
yeah, strength 8.
No, it's the battle cannon there. So still 8 there, I think. So
yeah,
needing 4s, 1 wound. That's at -2, I believe, for the battle cannon.
Yes.
Yep. So needing a 5-up save. No, that went through, and it's D3 wound.
Damage.
So do your D3 damage. So it's taken 1 wound so far, so it's down to 10, and then we've got 4 shots from your Reaper autocannon. Hitting on 4s, 2 hits, strength 7. So you need 5s, 1, and that's -1 as well, so that'll be a 4-up save. No, I went through, and it's just 1 damage. So that Vindicator is now down to 9 wounds. Now we have this Defiler firing over at the same Vindicator that's down to 9 wounds. D6 shots from the battle cannon. 6 shots, nice. So you're needing 4 ups here. Not bad. There you go. And then you need 3s to 4s to wound, pardon me. Okay, so 2 got through. So I need 5 ups. No, so that would, so it's 2d3 damage. So another 3. You're going to command point the 1 eye. Actually, I don't think you can command point damage anymore.
Can you not?
No.
Oh, okay.
So it's just 3 damage in total. Okay. Sorry, pardon me. You can re-roll the damage roll. I was thinking about something completely different. I was thinking of the explode result. So actually, that I went back and checked the footage, and it basically means it took 4 wounds in total. Next up, we have the Reaper autocannon firing 4 shots. Okay, hit twice. And you need 5s to wound. No wounds. And that's all the Defilers shooting. Okay, just to recap the rest of the shooting, we had this Hellbrute fire in a couple of rounds to the Vindicator here, taking it down to 3 wounds. So that's pretty banged up now. Moving over to here, we had this Defiler fire all of its weapons into this Vindicator down here, leaving it on 8 wounds in the end. Not too successful shooting there, but not too bad. However, the bikes here, with obviously the benefits of these guys being in cover, didn't manage to do any wounds to the assault intercessor squad, which is, I was actually quite astounded. But hey ho, we're now going to move on to, well, there's no assault actually, is there? Because unless you're going to try with these guys. We'll be right back in a minute with either the next turn or the assault phase. Okay, well, the bikers did attempt to charge the assault intercessors. I didn't elect to overwatch. However, it was not far enough charged, so they are now sitting there for this turn. That is the end of World Eaters, turn 1. We're going to come back in a moment with Templars, turn 2, command phase. Before we go on to Templars turn 2, we can see here we rolled the dice for the objective moving. So we went from the orange dice to the green dice, so all of them had to move in that direction. So this objective here ended up just behind the Berserkers. This one here moved back further this way, unfortunately out of range of the Berserkers, which is probably, but Vicky does have second go, so she can move in range. This one's moved out of range of anything. This one here is just in range of my Crusader squad. The one on top of the platform all the way over here ended up just going to the corner. We couldn't quite get it over the edge, so we moved it just on the edge there. And then finally, the one on top of the landing pad has moved just towards the end of the landing pad that way. So that's all then moved. And then we'll go into Templars turn 2. Okay, so end of movement phase for Black Templars, but also I will just go through the scores in the command phase and the chaplain stuff. So I managed to score 20 points for holding this one at the beginning of the turn and also that one there. Obviously the intercessors over here were on there. We then used for the Emperor and also put Fire's Devotion and Divine Protection back onto this unit here. So basically they've got +1 attack, and they can advance and fire their pistols and charge as well. Over here we had the chaplain move down with them, so they're hopefully going to take on these bikes. We'll see how they get on. This Crusader squad did a massive advance. They rolled a 6 on their advance roll and managed to get up on top of the objective quite nicely. This squad here is elected to stay still because it's in a bit of a weird position on the fact that there's a lot of berserkers floating around in both directions. I don't really want to put myself into too bad of a situation, so the captain is also elected to stay with them. However, this Crusader squad has moved up, got its melter gun in range of the Defiler here, hopefully going to lend a bit of her hand from shooting with this Vindicator as well. And then finally, this Vindicator has fallen back a little bit, keeping itself in range of this Defiler. But out of sight of the other one. So can the Templars cause some casualties this turn, because there wasn't really much done on either side in the previous turn for the Templars. So starting off shooting for the Templars in turn 2, we have the Vindicator here firing its main cannon into the Defiler again. However, we are going to be hitting on 5s. Okay, D6 shots for the Demolisher cannon. Just the 2. This isn't looking good. Needing 5s to hit due to its current profile. Although we hit once, so not too bad. Needing a 3 to wound. We got that. It's -3, so you got your 5 up and vulnerable. Nice, very nice. Okay. And next up, we're going to have this melter gun firing into the Defiler as well. Okay, 1 melter gun shot firing in. It is a miss. And then on this side, we have this Vindicator firing into the damaged Defiler again. D6 shots. Going for 4 this time, a bit better. No negative modifiers on this one because it is a full health. We hit 3 times. I'm going to command point that one, putting me down to 10 command points after using the for the Emperor one. So that's 4 hits, needing 3s to do damage. That's 3 damaged, needing 5 ups to save. Come on! Oh, no. 3d6 damage coming in, unless you want to do anything.
I'm going to command point 1.
You're going to command point 1, okay. Yep, so save 1, so just 2d6 damage, which is, I don't think it's quite enough to kill it, unfortunately. 6, 7, 8, 9 damage done to the Defiler. And the last Vindicator firing is the Destroyer here, firing again into the Defiler just over there. So 3 shots again, firing on the overcharged profile, didn't move. So let's go for 3s. We hit once, can't use any command points now, and we need a 3 to wound. No wounds, so that Defiler has lived to fight another day. Okay, the last bit of shooting we just rolled off camera. So we had both these squads of infantry here. So we had the Crusaders and the Assault Intercessors fire their bolt pistols and melter gun into the squad of bikes, taking one of them down to 1 wound. So they're still pretty healthy. Let's hope that we can do a bit of damage in combat. We will be right back in a moment with turn 2 for the Templars assault phase. Okay, so the first of the charges are all in. This is basically the only set of combat we've got here on screen. So we're going to have the Assault Intercessors and the Chaplain both fighting the Bikers. Obviously, we'll be back in camera to roll those dice. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Assault Intercessor squad. Now, because I had Fires of Devotion on there, each of those Marines were getting +1 for Fires of Devotion, +1 for charging, and +1 for an Astartes Chainsword. So in total, that results in 51 attacks, because obviously the Sergeant has an additional attack to the normal unit. So we are looking for 3s to hit. Sadly, we're not in the assault phase, but we'll see how we go. So 3s to hit. Had to use the dice pot this time round because it's a bit too much. I'm just going to count these up and be back in a second. Okay, so now we're looking for 5s to wound. So we're going to take out anything that's not a 5 here. We'll try and do this one as much on camera as possible. Quite a few non-wounds here. That is the curse of charging a bike squad. What are we looking at there? Okay. Okay. 2 more 4s there. If you pick up all of those in there and roll saves for them, they are -1 because of the Astartes Chainsword. Okay, so 1 is dead, 2 is dead, and 1's on 2 wounds. 2 dead and 1 on 1 wound. So Vicky elected to pay the 2 command points to counter-attack with the bike squad before the chaplain got to swing. So all these attacks are going into the assault intercessor squad. So starting off with a power fist. He falls to hit. You got a death. Actually, no, you don't get death focus -1, as was pointed out to me in another video. Okay, so 1 wound. I need a 6-up save. No, how many wounds have you done? It's flat 2 now, isn't it? Pardon me. So I need 5 ups. 5 ups here to ignore it. So 1's on 1 wound. That's for my divine protection, by the way. And then you've got your, what's next? Your chain swords. So good. And then you need 4s to wound. Okay. So I think it's just 2. So this is a -1, so needing 4 ups to save. Both okay. Then you've got your 2 chain axes to go. Okay, all hit. These are 3s to wound though. All wounded, and these are at -1 as well. So I need 4 ups. So I failed 1. So I failed 3, pardon me. And these are for the 5-up divine protection. So I passed another 1. So basically 1 is dead and 1 is on 1 wound. Okay, so we have the chaplain fighting. He's going to have 4 attacks. He's going to be hitting on 2s. All hit. So it was the assault phase. It's benediction of fury, so it's +2 strength. So he's going to be wounding on 3s. So just the 2. That's -2. Oh, that was a 6. So that one of them's taken a mortal wound. So one of them's on 1 wound. It's fine. No, so no, you still need to roll for the save. No, both failed. So that is another 6 damage in total. So basically 2 more bikers are dead. Okay, so combat is ended over here. And as you saw with all the rolls, we had lost 4 of the bikers have gone down, and we've lost 1.5 assault intercessors. Unfortunately, those berserkers are pretty near, and these guys are obviously still tied in combat. So I have to see how that pans out in turn 3. So turn 2 for World Eaters, I should say. So that is the end of turn 2 for the Black Templars. Let's roll on to World Eaters turn 2. World Eaters turn to command phase, and we found that this Defiler was just in range for holding this objective here, and obviously the Berserker squad here is holding the other ones. They have also scored 20 points this round, so it's 20 points apiece. Let's roll on to movement. Turn 2, movement for the World Eaters, and they have made their advance this turn. We've had, I think this Defiler stays still in the end, but it's only on, I think it's 3 wounds or 5 wounds, sorry, 5 wounds, pardon me. The Berserkers have exited the trench here and are working their way towards the Templars over there. The Defiler has moved around the corner to get a better shot on various targets. The Hellbrute has moved across this way to support the centre. This Berserker squad with Kharn has moved forward quite aggressively towards this squad of Templars here. And then obviously the Defilers are taking up position on top of the objective. This Berserker squad has moved towards various options on this side of the table. And obviously the bikers are still locked in combat. These supplies are still floating around all over the place. It looks like the World Eaters have managed to probably get on top of a few more than the Templars now. Obviously that doesn't come into play till the next command phase. We will see what happens. Let's roll on to turn 2 shooting for the World Eaters. So kicking off the shooting phase in turn 2, we have the Defiler here firing all of its weapons into this Vindicator. So the Defiler has elected to use Demon Forge, so it's going to be re-rolling its hits and wounds. We're going to start with the battle cannon, firing into the Vindicator here, D6 shots, 1 shot. So 5's re-rolling. Well, it's a hit anyway, and then you need a 4 to wound. Yep, and I need a 5 to save. No, it went through, so D3 damage. Just the 1, so it's down to 2 wounds at the moment. Then you've got your 4 shots from your Reaper autocannon. Hitting 5s, but you do get to re-roll them, so you can re-roll 3 of them. So that's 2. And then you need 5s to wound. So it's toughness 8, so 1 wound, -1, so I need a... No, let's say it's down to 1 wound. So let's see what happens in the next round of shooting. Okay, next up, this Defiler at the back, which is currently undamaged, is going to fire the battle cannon into the Vindicator and the Reaper autocannon into the Crusader squad just in front of it there. D6 shots from the battle cannon going into the Vindicator. 2 shots. And you're going to need 4s to hit this time. Both hit, and then 4s to wound. Is this going to be enough? Ooh, 1. I need a 5 up here. I might have to use a reroll here. I'm going to command point it just to be frustrating. Yes,
no.
It's alive. And then we've got the autocannons going into the Crusader squad. No hits, so that is the Defiler's shot. Next up we have the Defiler back here, firing the autocannon into the Crusader squad on the platform there, and the battle cannon is again going into the Vindicator destroyer. First up, D6 shots going into the Vindicator here. 6 again, that's the second time, this could be quite painful. Looking for 4s here. Ooh, all hit.
Nice.
And then you're looking for 4s to wound because it's equal strength and toughness. That's not bad. So let's go with rolls here. So needing 5 ups. Didn't pass any of them. So 4d3 wounds. This could be the end of it. Well, that's 6 right there. That's 7. Yeah, that is now gone. Does it blow up? No, does not blow up. So that is the Vindicator destroyer off the table. Now we'll do the 4 shots going into the Crusader squad. Hit once. And 1 wound, and I need a... No, so that is 1 dead Crusader. Okay, so the other bits of shooting that happened in this phase, we had the Hellbrute just managed to fire onto that Vindicator 3 there, didn't do any damage. We also had a couple of pistols from here fire into this Crusader squad and not to do any damage. And also we had some from here fire into this Crusader squad, but I think we didn't do anything there either. So that is the end of the phase. Obviously the Vindicator destroyer died there, which is a bit frustrating for me. And we lost a Marine up on the platform here. So that is the end of the shooting phase for the World Eaters. We're now going to see what they can do in the assault phase. Some might say their favourite phase. Okay, so charges happening in the assault phase here. We had the Defiler make it into the Crusader squad down here. This squad here did attempt to make a charge at the assault intercessor here, but failed sadly. They were only just out, but unfortunately just is good enough. And then over here, the Berserkers managed to scale the fortification and fly into the Crusaders, holding the top here with a very, very big 12-inch charge. So that's pretty good. Other than that, nothing else has made it in. Obviously, we've got this ongoing combat here. Let's see what happens with the World Eaters. Okay, we're going to start off with the Defiler fighting the Crusader squad. So 5 attacks coming in from the Defiler, hitting on 4s because that is not affected by the degradedness of the vehicle. 1 hit. And a 2 to wound. And I believe it's AP3 on the claw. So I'll roll a dice here. No, it went through. So, and what's the flat damage on that one? It's D6. What does so you need to roll a 2 or higher? That's fine. So 1 Crusader is dead. And next up, we have the bloody Berserkers fighting the Crusaders on top of the fortification. Okay, so we're going to start off with the chain axes going in first. So let's see how we do here. So we're looking for 3s to hit. Any 6s generate extra attacks. So 2 extra there. Okay. And this is going to be at strength 6. Actually, strength 7, pardon me, but still 3s to wound. Because obviously you've got strength 5 Berserkers, which we've got right this time.
We did.
Okay. So that looks like 3 wounds to me. And these are at -1, because it's the chain axe. So we're looking for 4s to save. We saved twice, so 1 wound has gone through so far. Next up is the chain swords. Quite a lot of attacks here, this is nasty. Watch out, Vicky.
Still going to get you.
And you got 4 extra rolls there. You're not going to roll for the 4?
Oh, should I not going off?
No, I'll just take the... If you take these 4 here...
Oh, pardon me.
And if you
yes,
roll for them, please.
My bad. Sorry. What was that?
You have to watch Vicky's eye. She does cheat sometimes.
I'm not. I'm just a bit forgetful.
And then you're looking for 3s to wounds because you are +2 strength. Sorry, you're strength 5. That's what I'm looking for. And these are all at -1 as well because of the Astartes chainsword rule. So currently we've got 1 Crusader on one wound at the moment. So let's see if we can save a few more. Looking for 4 ups. That is not bad. So we lost another 2. So we've lost 1 whole Marine and another half. So we're just going to reset and do that again because I was going to fight twice. So here we go with the axes again. We're going to do all the power sword attacks at the end once we've gone through all these. So axes again. The second round of combat. Oh, that wasn't as good. So then you need 3s to wound. Okay, that's all wounded. So I've currently got another one on 1 wound at the moment. So we're looking for 4 ups again. So we've lost another one. So we've lost 2 more Marines have just dropped. So next up is the swords again. Chain swords, that is. So 2 Marines down. 3 in total. So we got some 6s there. Let's take all those misses out first, I think. Okay, and then you've got 1, 2, 4, 5. So that's 6, yeah? 6 extra rolls. Okay, just another miss there. Then we're looking for 3s to wound again. It's looking a bit dangerous here. Okay, looking for 3s to wound. Okay. Okay, all of those. Quite a lot of wounds to try and save it. This is at -1 as well, so looking 4 ups with 2 Marines down from this round of combat. So I think we're going to be losing a few more here. So let's just grab all that up. Here we go. I'm going to take out everything that did actually pass, which actually doesn't look too shabby, to be fair. Sorry, my camera just rearing off a little bit. Okay, so we lost 2 Marines so far, so that's another one. That's another one, so we lost another 3. So that is 5 Marines in total have died in that round of combat. So now for your power sword, so you're going to have 4 for each of your champions there for 2 rounds of combat. So we'll do 8 altogether, and we're down 5 Marines. Okay, 1 extra. Nope. And you're looking for 3s to wound, pardon me, sorry. Yeah, so 2, and these are at 6 up saves. No, that is another one, so 6 dead in that round of combat. Okay, so my first choice of combat is going to be over here, so I'm going to do the assault intercessors into the bikes. Okay, so we're going to do 3s to hit these bikes. Still not in the assault doctrine yet, when the stuff starts to get a bit more interesting. So we're just looking for 3s here. Okay, all happy with that? Yeah. And then we're going to need 5s to wound here, due to them being bikes. Okay. Here we go, needing 5s. Oh dear, 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. 4 wounds at -1, so you're looking for 4 ups. No, that is 1 more dead bike. Okay, so the bikes are now going to fight back against the assault intercessors. So let's go with the power fist first. Needing 4s, so that's 1 hit. Don't get the death of full central on that because it's -1 to hit. There's a wound, so I need a 6 up here. Nope, and how many? There's flat 2, so I need 5 ups to follow here for my divine protection. Oh my goodness, that is very protective of the Emperor. Then we've got the chainswords coming in, so we've got 4 additional attacks there. 1 6, that does generate an extra hit though, so you might get another one. Yep, that's fine. Then you're looking for, that was a hit as well, that one there, 3. And you need 4s to wound, 1. And I need a 4 up save, so no, another one. Oh, that's actually 1 dead because I already had 1 on 1 wound. And what I'm just going to do here is fight back against the Defiler, so I'm just going to quickly move these guys up. Consolidate in. Also, I am paying 1 command point to use Melter Bomb, which is basically the new way melter bombs work in 9th for the Space Marines. So essentially, if I hit with that, I can do 2d3 mortal wounds. But at the end, then I'll do the rest of the combat if need be. Okay, so here we go. I just need to hit with this 1 melter bomb one, which is just using a normal chainsword chap, and it is a miss. I'm going to command point it
Miss again.
And I hit. So that does 2d3. So you need me to roll low here, because you're on 5 wounds at the moment. So that is 3 wounds. So he is down to 2 wounds now. Next up, all the chainswords going into the Defiler. We are looking for 3s here, so let's just remove all the chaff. That looks good to me. If only the captain was in range, could get the rerolls on those 1s, but never mind. And it is toughness 7, so we are looking for 5s to wound. Ooh, okay. That isn't too bad, actually. Kind of live with that. And basically I do have a power sword left to go if required, so you need that many, -1 save. So I believe you have a 3 up normally, so you need a 4 up save. No, it is dead unless you're going to do anything like a reroll.
Oh, command point.
You're going to command point the 2 to try and get a 4. No. Does it blow up though? No, it doesn't blow up. So the Defiler is dead, and let's roll on to last bits of combat. Okay, just to recap the rest of the fighting here, obviously the chaplain fought the bikes, managing to kill 2 off, and then I decided to spend 2 command points, either wisely or not, on fighting again with the assault intercessors, which basically managed to finish off the last biker and then consolidate towards the berserkers here. I then fought back with the remaining crusaders here, managing to kill 2 off somehow. The sergeant was in fine form with his axe. However, I did fail the morale test, but I managed to only get away with losing the 1 marine in the end, so that's not too bad. So it's still there. However, obviously I do no longer hold that objective, because berserkers are troops in this particular instance for world eaters. So that is actually the end of combat in turn 2. We're now going to head on to turn 3 for the Black Templars. Okay, so obviously just before Templars turn 3 begins, we had the move happen again for all the objectives. This time it went actually back in the other direction. As you can see here, we went from the lowest dice to the higher dice value. So we went to from left to right on the screen here. This objective moved back underneath the Defiler. This objective moved just to the left-hand side of the Crusader squad. This one actually moved right into the Berserkers over here, which is quite handy for Team World Eaters. Moving on to this side here, we had this one move actually to the Crusaders, so that's actually put it back under my possession, luckily. I'm not quite sure how these are blowing around, but hey-ho. This one here, which is pretty much out of contention for everyone, has moved further away from everything on the board. This one has moved to the heel of that Defiler. That is all of them, so let's move on to Templars, turn 3 movement. Okay, turn 3 movement for the Black Templars. Over here we had the chaplain jump over to the side here. He did try to put his litanies on before movement, however none of them went off, so this Crusader squad is currently just as what they would normally get. They have moved up as close as they can to the Berserkers. We had this Vindicator move out of cover to get a good bead on this side of the table, so he can choose between the Defiler or the Berserkers if he wants to. Elected not to move this Vindicator because he's damaged anyway and he can't really move very far. This Crusader squad has just moved up normal distance. However, I paid a command point to put Emperor's Will onto this Assault Intercessor squad and advance them 10 inches due to the +1 from the captain there for frontline commander. And they are firmly in front of Kharn and his Berserkers. I don't know how this is going to go for either side. We shall soon see. However, we right back with the shooting in turn 3. So starting off with the badly wounded Vindicator, he's going to fire into the Berserker squad at the front there. So number of shots, needing a D6. It's going to get a minimum of 3 though. So we've got 4 shots. This is hitting on 5s though. Hit once, just needing a 2 to wound. Yep, need a 6 up save. Nope, so D6 damage. 1 dead Berserker. And next up we have this Vindicator firing into the Berserkers just in front of the Assault Intercessors. So again, D6 hits, but minimum of 3. So we're just going to take the 3 there. Needing 3s to hit. Just the 1. And a 2 to wound. That is a wound, there's a 6 up save. Nope, and another dead Berserker off that other squad. Okay, because we had quite a lot of pistol shooting, decided to roll that all off camera because it was just a lot of single shots from pistols. So basically, this squad here and the Assault Intercessors and the captain around there all fired into that Berserker squad there, taking it down to 5 men remaining. Over to this side of the board, we had the assault intercessors and the chaplain fire into this squad up here. They are now down to 5 men as well. I'm still a bit worried about the defilers and that little hell brute hiding out the back there, and also the man in the middle, Mr. Kharn. He's coming to get me, apparently. So we'll have to see what happens, but we're going to move on into the assault phase now, and let's see if we can kind of lower the blood tide. Okay, so the charges have been done. Over here we had this assault intercessor squad make it in. The chaplain rolled a double 1 twice, so did not make it in, sadly, so he's going to be just observing this particular fight over here. In the middle here, the assault intercessors made it in very nicely to the berserkers, and also the captain, even with getting Overwatch, made it into the defiler. Hopefully going to do some work with the demon hammer, sorry, the storm hammer. And over here, this squad decided to stay on the objective. I am a bit worried about these berserkers, but not much I can do about them really. I didn't want to charge them because I think that they'll still come out badly for me. I'm going to see what happens in other areas. So that is the charges. Let's go and see how they pan out. And we are going to start off in the middle here with the assault intercessors against the berserkers. Okay, so we're starting off with the intercessors here. We had 41 attacks because it was 10 less than my Father's ones with the Father's Devotion. We are needing 3s to hit here. However, we are re-rolling 1s, and any 6s are automatic wounds. Okay, so I'm just going to pick out all the 1s first so I can re-roll them quickly. I think that's all the 1s. Yep, I'm just going to roll them on the table here just to keep them separate. I don't want to muddy the 6s, so no, I'll add them back in. Okay, let's take out all the 6s because these don't have to roll to wound. Any more in there that you can see? Oh, there's a miss there as well. Get rid of that one. I think that's all of them, isn't it? Yes. Now let's get rid of everything that missed. Okay. And we need to wound here, so this is going to be... Actually, I'm going to need bigger hand. One second, I'm going to pick these dice up. Okay, just had to get them into the jar here. So we're now looking for 4s to wound. Let's take out everything that missed, and then Vicky can roll that plus the dice on the side there for saves. That's a 3. Okay, if you want to add those dice in over there.
Oh my god.
And all those. And so these need the -1 normally, but because we're in the assault doctrine, we're also another -1 due to the assault phase. So we are looking for 5 ups. Vicky's not looking too happy. So you want to take out everything that failed. I think they're dead.
I think they're, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so you don't count how many pairs you've got, and then, but I think there's, that was a full squad. No, it wasn't, was it? Because I killed 2. So squad. You need to, if there's 12 dice there, which there definitely is, they're all dead. So that is that berserker squad wiped out. Okay, so Vicky has elected to interrupt at this stage to fight with the berserkers here. So we've got 2 rounds of combat coming up against these assault intercessors. Okay, so we're starting off with the power sword from the champion here, needing 3s to hit. That's 2 hits, and then you need 4s to wound. No, nothing. If we keep them, because we're going to roll them again in a minute. Just, yeah. Okay, and then you've got your, sword, chain swords. Just the one of them. 1 hit. No wounds. This isn't looking good.
This isn't looking good.
But you get to go there again in a minute. So, and then you've got your chain axes. This is hopefully where the damage happens. Oh my goodness. We're lucky you get to fight twice, so. Then need 3s to wound.
Please.
Vicky pleading to the blood god. That is 3 wounds, so I need 4 ups. So I've lost a marine. I've already got 1 on. No, I haven't. Sorry, I'm thinking of the other squad. So that is 1.5 marines dead for me. And then you need to roll all of this.
Do that again.
Yep, so this is the chain axes for the second time. Got 2 deaths for the false emperors. No, okay. And then 3s to wound again. So we're down 1.5 marines at the moment. And that is 3 more. I've got to save for, looking for 4 ups. No, they're all fine. And then you've got your chain sword, sorry. Looking for 3s here. Oh, 2 6s, so you get to re-roll both of them. No, doesn't want to change. The blood god is not over in that particular portion of the field. That is 2 wounds. Oh no, 1 wound. Sorry. This is 4 up. No, that was a wound. Pardon me. They already strength 5. Excuse me. No, that's fine. That's another. Sorry, that's another marine dead. So that's 2.5 marines dead now. This is your power sword. And 3s to wound. Both wounded and needing 6 ups. No, that is another 1.5 dead. So that was 4.5 marines dead. Okay, so at the end of the turn 3 combat phase for the Black Templars, a bit of a mixed bag in the end. So over here we managed to wipe out the Berserkers even after taking quite a few casualties back in the face. Obviously we saw what happened over here on camera. However, you may be noticing there is a missing model here. He got obviously 5 attacks on the charge and managed to do 3 wounds to the Defiler. He then took a Defiler Scourge to the face to the tune of exactly 6 damage. So he died. So the captain is down, the chaplain over here is the last remaining HQ on the field. Elsewhere, that was all pretty much the combat that was done. So we have managed to secure the central objective just about. However, there is the big man here and I don't really have anything to deal with him. So this could be quite painful for me now. I do regret charging the captain in, I think. And obviously we still have a Berserker squad over here and another Defiler. So things are looking a bit interesting on the table. However, let's move on into turn 3 for the World Eaters. Turn 3 for the World Eaters, and they have scored another 20 points for holding this one here at the beginning of the turn, along with this one over here. And the movement has seen the Berserkers here move up towards this Crusader squad. A bit worried about that one, and also the Defiler just behind them. However, he seems to be hugging this objective at the moment. Into the centre of the board, we've had the Hellbrutes move forward with Kharn, ready to play ball with this squad of intercessors, I suspect. The Defiler has sort of moved a little bit with the Wartsmith moving around the front here towards this combat over here. So these intercessors are looking a little bit in trouble now. It's really regretting charging that captain in. So we're now going to move on to the shooting phase and see what damage the heretics can do. Okay, starting off with the Defiler here, we're going to fire the battle cannon into the Vindicator, and we're going to fire I think it's the Flamer and the autocannon into the Crusader squad. Kicking off with the battle cannon, number of shots, just the 2. Needing 4s to hit, 1 hit. These are 4 to wound, yep, and I need a 5 up. Nope, I'm not command pointing it, so does he blow up? No, not that there's anything around it anyway. So that is a dead Vindicator. We now have 4 shots from the autocannons going into the Crusader squad. Needing 4s again, just the 1. No, nothing, and then we have the Flamer, which is D6 hits. So 4 hits, so you need 3s to wound on those 4. Nice, so it's 3 wounds at -1, so I'm needing 4 ups here. Passed all but 1, so 1 is on 1 wound. So everything else in the shooting phase was done over in this area. So we had the Defiler shoot the battle cannon into this Vindicator, which actually took it down to 6 wounds, although that was in conjunction with a shot from the plasma cannon on the Hellbrute here. We then had Kharn fire his plasma pistol and the Wartsmith fire all of his guns into the assault intercessors, taking 3 out, so that's looking quite bad for them already. However, that was pretty much everything else that was done. So let's roll on to the combat phase, or the Kharn phase. Okay, so charges are done. So we've had Kharn, Hellbrute and Warpsmith all go into the assault intercessors here. And then over on this side, we have had the Berserkers charge into the Crusader squad. And that is basically everything that has made it in. And Vicky has elected to start with Kharn the Betrayer. Okay, so Kharn is coming in with his 8 attacks for the first round. So you've got 1-1 there, so that will go back and sort that out on the Dreadnought in a minute, because that's the nearest unit. These have all hit. You've got 2 Death to the False Emperors, you might want to add them on. Okay, that's another 1 there.
I'll put that in
Put that there. And then these, what are you wounding on? Must be wounding on 2s, I'm going to presume. Probably got some silliness. Okay, I have to look at the book here, 1 second.
Sorry, trying to pick up dice.
No, it's +1, so you're wounding on 3s. Okay, so if you take anything out that didn't wound, actually I don't even get a save because it's -4. You're wounding on 3s, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that you only win it twice?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I know.
In that case, there's D3 damage for each of those. So if you roll that for me. So far I have lost 1.5 Marines, and then you get to go again now. So 8 attacks. And we've got to deal with 2 attacks on your Dreadnought in a second. Okay, you've got 2 more 6s there, so no 1s this time, you've hit with all of that. That's a bit better, isn't it? I don't get any saves on this again though, so 2, 4, 6, 6 D3, so roll all that together. Let's see how this, so one's already dead anyway, but we'll just take a dice off. So we'll just say that was the win on that, and then basically that's another dead one, that's another dead one, that's another dead one, so it's 3, so it's 4, 5 dead, 6 dead. 6 dead out of that lot there. So we quickly rolled up the damage for the Dreadnought there, and Vicky managed to wound him 3 times. So the Dreadnought has taken 3 damage from Kharn himself, and that is the end of Kharn's combat. I will now be interrupting with my Crusader squad. Okay, starting off with the Crusader squad here with their chain swords after interrupting, leaving me on 1 command point. We need 3s to hit here, 6s do automatically wound. So let's grab all these 6s out first. It's not bad, and let's take out all the misses now. Okay, can live with that. And then these guys need 4s to wound. It was actually reasonably respectable. So that many 5-ups, because the start is changed was -1 and we are in the assault phase. Not bad. So you've lost 1, 2.5. 2.5 berserkers go down. And now we'll be back in a minute with the rest of the combat. Okay, and that is the end of combat. We rolled the rest off camera. So the Dreadnought piled into the remaining assault intercessor and managed to kill him quite easily. Over here, after my interrupted attack, the berserkers fought back, and as you can see, their results were a lot better than mine. Leaving 1 guy left, that was after an attrition test, took another one out afterwards. So just the sergeants left from the squad. So that's the end of turn 3. For the World Eaters. We're now going to roll on to turn 4 for Black Templars and just see if they can salvage a little bit of honour out of this, because this is starting to look a bit bad for us again. So as ever, the winds of fate have been applied again and the objectives have moved around the board once more. It ended up going from this side to this side almost in a straight line. So we had this objective moved to in front of the divider. This objective moved further away from both myself and the berserkers. This one here came out from underneath the Dreadnought and ended up on the upper side of the barricade. Moving over to this side of the board. So this one basically hopped over to the opposite side of where I'd moved my Crusader squad to. And this one here had moved underneath the divider, just in front of where my chaplains ended up. And this one over here, again, out of play really, but has moved towards my end rather than the other side. So movement wise, obviously, as I said here, this Crusader has jumped down onto the objective. Over here we have made a bit of a move towards the centre here, because I've kind of run out of options on how I could even remotely swing this, because I've only scored 10 points this turn. So I need to get involved in the middle here to try and swing it. So the Vindicator is charged up to make sure that the Warpsmith is the nearest target, see if we get lucky. And then we've got the Assault Intercessors and the Chaplain here ready to lend a hand. Obviously this guy is locked in combat and I decided to leave him there. So we're going to come back in a minute with the shooting phase. Okay, because my voice is starting to go, I've had to cut down the number of dice rolls I'm recording because my throat's still quite sore. So there's a little bit of a recap here before we get into the combat phase. So shooting wise, we had the Vindicator here fire into the Warpsmith. taking it down to 1 wound. Just to confess, during that I rolled the number of hits, which was 3. I then decided to re-roll to try and get higher, which was rather greedy of me, and I only got 1. So luckily that one shot did actually do something, so not brilliant. The assault intercessors also fired in because it's the closest target, but didn't do any damage. And the chaplain here fired into the defiler, but didn't do anything. However, over here, the remaining crusader fired his bolt pistol very accurately into the face of one of the berserkers, killing it off because it was only on 1 wound from the previous round of combat. So speaking of combat, we're going to be right back in a minute with turn 4 assault for the Black Templars. Okay, so desperate times call for desperate measures. We got the chaplain made a massive assault into Kharn, jumping over everything and managing to get in. Also, the intercessors made it into the warpsmith quite happily. So this is going to be quite an interesting little combat here. So let's get a few of these dice rolls on camera. Okay, so we're starting off with the chaplain here fighting Kharn. I've got 4 attacks on the charge, and we are looking for 2s to hit. So 2s to hit, no re-rolls. We have managed to hit with... Oh, actually, one of them's gone straight through. However, 2 of them did miss, which is a bit frustrating. Bloody typical. So the one that I need to roll to wound, so I need a 3 to wound because I'm strength 7. Yep, so both wounded. You need 4 up in vulnerables, I think, because it's -2, which is probably... So 1 got through. So that's 3 damage to you. So we're right back with Kharn's combat. Okay, Vicky is actually elected to interrupt with the warpsmith. So we've got 4 attacks coming in here with that axe that she put on there. You need 3s, don't you? You're not near enough Kharn, unfortunately. So that is 3 hits. And what's the strength of this? +1, is it? So 3s to wound. Just the 1. -2. So I have taken... How much damage does it do?
2 damage.
2 damage. So it is 1... Oh, actually, I've got divine protection on, so I do get to roll 2 5-ups and ignore on 5s. Which I've done somehow. That's the second time it's happened. That's very lucky of me. For the Emperor! So that is the warpsmith done. So I'm now going to fight back with the assault intercessors before Kharn gets to swing. Okay, so the assault intercessors managed to finish off the warpsmith. However, Kharn gets to fight the chaplain now. Obviously, he's going to fight twice. So we're going to do that all at once because there's no other combats anyway apart from one that's on the other side of the table. So we'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so we've got 14 attacks coming in, so this is both rounds of combat done in one. Needing 2s to hit, any 1s are just ignored because there's nothing nearby, he can't wound himself. That's all right, there we go. And you've got some Death to the False Emperors there. Yeah, that's 3 extra. Let's put them over here, there we go. Yep, all good. And then 3s to wound. Not quite double the strength. I am going to need a miracle here, although that's not so bad. So let's take away all of these guys. Sorry for the camera movement there. Right, so I need 4 ups to save here, otherwise he is dead. I've only got 4 wounds, he does 2 damage each a hit, and a D3 actually, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, D3, -4.
So I've passed 1, 2, 3, so there's no way I can save him, because I have no rerolls, so the chaplain is dead. And I think you get +1 strength now, don't you?
+1 attack, +1 strength.
Nice. Okay, so we just had this last combat down here, and the berserkers have managed to wipe off that last crusader. Didn't get to fight back in the end because they got to choose to fight first anyway. As a recap here, obviously in the middle, mixed bag, we got rid of the warpsmith, but really what I was actually hoping to do, just so you guys know, I hope to kill the warpsmith with the demolisher cannon and then actually assault Kharn with everything, but unfortunately there was not a big enough gap to get through there, so that didn't quite go to plan. So Kharn is on 2 wounds. He's also got +1 strength and attacks from killing the chaplain in combat, which is very nice. So we're going to roll over to turn 4 for the World Eaters. Turn 4 for the World Eaters, and the jaws are closing on the Templars. This is looking quite bleak. Over this side of the board we had the Defiler move round with the Berserkers, and then obviously in the middle here we've got Kharn, the Betrayer, and the Hellbrute here moving in towards the remaining Intercessors, and the Defiler moving round, obviously thinking that tank looks like a nice can of meat for the Blood God. Also at the beginning of the turn Vicky scored 30 points because she held 2 plus more than me. So that gave her 30 points, so it's put her quite far ahead now. So let's see what happens at the rest of this turn. Okay, so we just went through turn 4 because it's getting very late here and my voice has completely gone almost. So basically, they wiped the Templars off the board. So just to give a quick recap, the Defilers managed to finish off the remaining Crusader here using their autocannons, and then essentially the battle cannons both fired into the Vindicator that was left here, taking it down to 3 wounds, and then Kharn charged into the assault intercessors, managing to destroy them all fairly quickly. The extra strength and attacks on his charge was pretty brutal, to be fair. The Defiler managed to finish off the Vindicator by charging it and ripping it apart with its claws. I'm sure if Dom is watching this, he'll be very happy with that result. So if you are watching, Dom, leave a thing in a comment about your Defilers because they're horrible.
They're great.
So we'll be right back in a minute with a recap of the story. So as the blood settles into the ground around the outskirts of the hive, we see the World Eaters have managed to collect the supplies from the ground without too much trouble for them. So Kharn has successfully led his force, pretty much doing a lot of the killing himself as well. Very impressive as he's charged through the ranks of the Templars, chopping and hacking, and even doing some damage to his own followers in the kind of trail of destruction he's left. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with the way to the hive open, and the hive is packed full of civilians looking for safety, and the Templars are the only thing that currently stands in the way of the World Eaters at the moment, as that's their main base of operation in this area at the moment. So in the next matchup we'll be seeing how if the Templars can finally turn the tide against the World Eaters, or will this world fall to chaos? Let us see what happens in the next game.